What's up YouTube? This is X and today I'm putting out another Men of War video. My bridge battle video from a few weeks ago proved to be quite popular, so I was really pleased to see that, and for that reason I'm going to put out a new vid for this game, which is a game that I still think is incredible. So for this battle, this is going to be a battle I call Clash of Powers. It's a Russian versus German tank battle I've created in the editor, and as you can see I've set a script here so the Russian side, which is controlled by the AI, is already moving out. I don't need to do anything here, this is all controlled by the AI. So there's a mass army of Russian tanks and support vehicles moving out to capture this village. The vehicles consist of T-34s, IS-2s, IS-3s and tank destroyers such as IS-152s, etc, etc. The German tank complement is pretty much just as powerful, really. A number of support tanks such as the ones you can see here, basic panzers, early war panzer tanks, medium battle tanks. Here you've got an extremely powerful tank though, the Jag Tiger, which is a heavy German tank destroyer. I think pretty much the most powerful armoured tank of World War II, unless you count some of the more experimental German tanks that never really made it onto the battlefield, such as the Mau, things like that, the Monster. So as I say, I'm controlling the Germans, so my objective is basically to win and take out all the German units and rid the map of any Russian units, and rid the map of any Russian enemies basically. So as you can see from the map at the top, the red dots, red circles, etc. represent enemy units, so the Russians have already taken up positions, strategic positions across the riverside in preparation for some sort of assault on my part. So I now need to roll out my tanks. So I've played this battle various times and I've won it on occasions and lost it on occasions, so as I was playing this I had no idea what was actually going to happen. I'm replaying this video now with commentary, but I wasn't speaking as I was playing it. I'm just now replaying the video to add my comments. Obviously I won't give anything away though. But the battle itself played out very well. I did make a few mistakes, I will say that, and you'll see that as I get more and more into the video. A few annoying mistakes that I will raise as they happen. But my first objective here is to just engage these initial Russian tanks that have taken up a front line. And as you can see, the Russians haven't moved all their units forward. There's still a big reinforcement complement at the top corner of the map. So here I roll my, I think it's a Panther, a German Panther forward, and it's backed up by a Panzer, a medium or in fact lightweight tank. And as you can see, the infantry, the German infantry, are all riding shotgun on these tanks. They're all using them to hitch rides. There's about 5 to 10 units on each tank. So this is the first engagement. I see a Russian tank hiding in the bushes, so the Panther engages. We'll try and get an early shot in. Deflects. The problem here is that there's a lot of Katyusha rockets that I didn't anticipate. So a Katyusha rocket's a very devastating weapon. The Russians had a lot of them, so they fired back almost instantly with this barrage, as you can see. Pretty devastating. Tried to retreat, but the Panther got utterly obliterated in that. I think the Panzer just about managed to sneak out, but I lost a tank there. And there we go, the Panther just got hit. One thing I realised as well was the tank I attempted to engage there was an extremely powerful Russian tank, an IS-3, which is a very late war era Soviet tank. Didn't really have a chance against that. The full frontal armour there, sloping armour. My shells just bounced off it. So I've opened up the hornet's nest here, as they say, stirred it up. I've got enough of Panther on this hill here, trying to engage. I have to try and attempt to flank this IS-3 now, using a Stug on the right side of the map there, just rolling up that road. But this IS-3's caused me a lot of trouble. I managed to take out its main gun though, which was very lucky. The Stug, I used the Stug to try and engage this second Russian tank that's coming up the road. And as you can see, there's 3 Katyusha vehicles up that street as well. So this vehicle, this IS-3, gets real close now to my front line. Very close tank combat here. So I have to try and pull my Panther back because I didn't expect this. The IS-3 is really churning me up. I've got enough of Stug there trying to take it out, so I've got 3 tanks basically attempting to engage this vehicle. And here we've got my heavy tank destroyer, the Jag Tiger, which I think took out that IS-152, which is the tank that just got destroyed in the background there. And there we go, we finally take out the IS-3, but that was a combined effort there. Up to 3 German tanks had to engage that, plus infantry with Panzerfausts. So that was intense. That was very hairy initial moment for the battle there for me. As you can see here, one of my Stugs just took out those Katyushas. There was a nasty chain reaction there, huge explosion. So the Katyushas are no longer a threat for me. Still a bit of combat going on here though. There's some Soviet troops that are holding up in these tanks, probably the crews that have bailed. So I'm just clearing this area now. And my tank destroyer just comes up now from over the hill. So looks like we took that initial location, that initial hill. However, we did lose 2 tanks there. So it was a tit for tat battle really. I wouldn't say I necessarily won that engagement. It was quite costly. And as you can see here, I've got a lot of reinforcements, infantry ready to go in half tracks, ammo, supplies, mortars, anti-tank guns. And the reason I have all this set up is because quite often when I play this battle, the Soviets bring the fight to me, and I have to actually set up a defensive line on that hill. So I need anti-tank flak positions. I have to set them all up like an Alamo really. But the idea is obviously to take ground, not defend it. So here you see I'm rolling forward my other Panther, and I engage the Soviets across the riverside here, across the lake. Take out one of those T-34s, setting up a position on those crossroads. However, I need to retreat. I don't want to get too far ahead here. This Panther's going solo. So as you can see, the T-34s are returning fire, and yeah, I take a hit there, whole shot, so that destroys my Panther. I was a bit annoyed about that, to be honest. The Panther took the initiative, the AI decided to engage those enemies, but really that was my fault because I should have ensured that the unit was instructed to hold position as opposed to, you know, move forward. So as you can see there's a number of Russian tanks on that side of the lake. That's their main defensive position. They're still taking shots at the Panther, but the Panther is essentially destroyed now. Its hull's been crushed. So I use my Stugs to try and engage these T-34s across the lake, and I'm rolling forward my half tracks now because I think I need to start establishing an infantry presence. So this Soviet tank attempts to make a move forward. Looks like a T-34. It gets stuck, and it ends up in the middle of a crossfire because I've got Stugs on the right and the left side engaging it, and its hull's been crushed there. It's destroyed. And as you can just about see in the background there, the Russian infantry are trying to move forward through those trees and through the bushland. So this is starting to become quite a contested road here, this part of the map. My half track gets a little ahead of itself there, and as you can see there's a hell of a lot of Russian infantry in those bushes sneaking forward. I try and retreat, but I get hit with an anti-tank rocket and I lose a lot of infantry there. That was quite a loss actually, that. I attempt to roll forward my next one, but I don't obviously want to go quite as far ahead there because I'll just lose them as well. So at the moment this is proving quite costly for me, considering I've not really gained a lot of ground. I've lost some pretty significant German tanks such as the Panthers, and I'm losing infantry, and then here you go, another half track's been taken out by an infantry anti-tank team. So there's a bit of fierce infantry combat going on here. These Russian troops are holding up in the bushes. So if I remember right, yeah, I'll try and engage them with this tank destroyer. Not quite got the angle though, so I need to bring that forward. That's nasty. I think my heavy tank destroyer there just got taken out by a mine. Again, that's one of the amazing things about this game. The AI do things like that. Retreating enemy infantry will place down anti-tank mines, for example. So I got taken out there. So again, this is very costly for me at the moment. This is very dirty combat. This is not really going as I expected it. Like all battles, it never quite plays out as you want it to. This surprised me. This made me jump. As you can see, I've just taken out a tank there. It just crept forward across the lake. That was a Russian IS-2, and it tried to attempt to make a move forward. It engaged one of my Stugs and took it out. However, my King Tiger came forward from down the hill and engaged it, and we took out the IS-2 down. I think the Jag Tiger also got a shot in. So again, enough a Russian assault, which we repelled, but I did lose enough a tank. What I'm doing here, I'm just bringing forward some more infantry components because I really do need to establish more of an infantry presence now. Because the Russians are getting dangerously close to my tanks and they can plant TNT, etc. right on them if they get too close. There we go, nice little shot there. Sniper, took that guy down. It's a good position there for my German snipers. They got a good vantage point up there engaging those Russian infantry. We missed that, but it looks like my King Tiger just took out another Russian tank. That's a KV-2. That burning hole there, big gun. Not much of a threat for the King Tiger. However, I'm glad we took that out though, because that does have a very powerful gun. But it looks like my King Tiger just got destroyed. We missed that, but it looks like that got hit by either an infantry anti-tank rocket or something a bit more powerful. And the Russian troops are now pulling forward on the right flank, so this is becoming a two-side battle. Both sides of the lake are heavily contested here. I'm pulling back my Jag Tiger because if there's any unit I don't want to lose, it's the Jag Tiger. It's the most powerful German tank, and I absolutely cannot afford to lose that. So I need to pull that back, and I need to bring the infantry forward to try and defend it. I am pretty angry that I lost that King Tiger though, but it may be salvageable. You can repair vehicles in this, but unfortunately I think that was a whole shot, so I think I have truly lost that King Tiger. That was one of the mistakes I made, which I mentioned earlier. That's probably the most annoying mistake for me in this battle. That King Tiger got a little bit too close to the front line, and the infantry just took it out. So as you can see here, I'm using a Flak 38 on that half track to hold back the Russians. It's a very effective anti-tank weapon, or anti-infantry weapon even. I'm bringing forward my German infantry just to try and hold this location, because what I don't want to do is pull back all the way to the hill where I came from, because then it will essentially be accepting defeat. This battle's still raging on the left flank as well. A lot of Panzerfausts coming forward and back there. So as you can see, judging by the map on the top left corner, still a lot of Russian troops, still a lot of tanks hanging round. I've lost quite a few tanks, so this has not gone particularly well. I'm rolling forward my infantry here. I'm trying to engage them in this little rock line here. As you can see, I'm taking control of that guy. It's going quite well. What I need to do is get a grenade in over there. It's a Russian spotter. Take him down. I'm controlling the guy with the MG42. Another one. He's down, and there's a nade out. There we go. So I cleared that bit. So I'm going to roll those infantry forward and use the destroyed Russian KV-2 as cover. And we've taken some ground finally, but at a cost. Stay tuned for part 2.